troublemakers and rabble-rousers. And we're going to start to wrap things up here in just a minute, but I want to take 1 second to recognize our sponsors today. First of all, my husband, who indulges me in all of this foolishness, Alan. Thank you. A relatively new organization called Citizens for a Strong New Hampshire, which seems like a pretty straightforward statement. Citizens for a Strong New Hampshire came about, maybe a year ago, Matt? About a year ago. They are nonpartisan. They are community leaders. They're just normal people like us. But their whole concept is preserving families, values, and our good economy. They work very hard on our behalf. They attend as many hearings as possible with not a whole lot of people and not a whole lot of money, but thank you, Matt, for everything that you guys do. Matt Murphy over here at the table, stop by and say hello. 2 other sponsors. Republican Liberty Caucus of New Hampshire. Who knows about those folks? I do. Republican Liberty Caucus. Sounds like it should be pretty straightforward. But those of us who have an R after our name, either because there's no other place for us to go, or because we believe in a platform that was written by delegates and adopted by delegates, and is something to which we should adhere, the Republican Liberty Caucus of New Hampshire stands behind that platform. It's very straightforward. It's very clear on what it believes. But sadly, the state GOP here doesn't seem to agree with us. They take positions that are contrary, directly contrary to the platform, whether it's on Medicaid expansion, whether it's on expanded gambling, whether it's on new taxes, whether it's on encroachment on our liberty. The Republican Party here in New Hampshire has not been our friend. They're unhappy with folks like us who are out in the grassroots, they want to call us pejorative terms like Tea Party, the same people who freed this country from the British rule. And as part of our sponsors today, we have, along with the Republican Liberty Caucus, the Atlas Society. Who's heard of the Atlas Society? Okay. Where's Aaron Day? Aaron, thank you. You have just done amazing things. You're doing amazing things. You have my vote for chair. And if I could come down and vote in your town in Bedford, I'd vote for you there. Probably Democrats wouldn't mind if we vote twice, right? But Aaron was kind enough to bring somebody with him today who's going to spend just a few minutes, bear with us, talking about the new Civil War. And what is the new Civil War? The new Civil War is within the Republican Party. It's for the hearts and minds of the values that most of us think we believe and most of us think we espouse, but our leadership has not done it. Edward Hudgens is the Director of Advocacy and is a senior scholar at the Atlas Society. He's written a great book, The Republican Civil War. Will freedom win? That's the question he poses. Will freedom win? And Edward, could I get 5 minutes, please? Just tell us about your book. Tell us about the work you're doing. Folks, thank you so much. We're going to wrap up, and I want everybody on the steps here armed to the teeth so we can take that photograph and send to the legislature. Edward,
thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. By the way, we have some folks circulating around passing out copies of the book, and I think we have a box of them over here, so if you're interested, please pick it up. We're the Atlas Society. How many of you have heard of or read or saw the movie Atlas Shrugged? Okay, that's good. You all should take a look at it because that's what's happening in this country now. I talk in this book about a civil war within the Republican Party because unfortunately there are factions that are fighting not for liberty, but to keep the welfare state, to keep the status quo the way it is, or to push agendas that really have nothing to do with liberty. And I go into some detail in this book about how the Republican Party is going to end up failing and continuing to fail if this is the approach they are taking. But I want to put this, and including this rally, in a larger context. There's another civil war going on within this country. It's a civil war between the makers and the takers. It's a civil war between the expropriators and the producers, people who want to live by their own methods, by their own hard work, trading voluntarily with their fellow citizens, and those who want to succeed, and I put that in quotation marks, by using government to redistribute and to steal and take the wealth of others. Those are the takers. And they are enabled by a class of ruling statist elites who basically suck up, who basically, this is what their whole life is, of getting applause by redistributing the wealth of others. This is the nature of the welfare state. But the welfare state can only live by punishing producers for being productive and rewarding people, not for producing goods and services to sell to their fellow citizens, but for wielding political power. And of course, the more political power becomes the coin of the realm, the more taxes go up, the more regulations go up to punish one group at the expense of another, or crony capitalism to reward one group at the expense of the other, the less welfare is, meaning the fiercer the battle becomes, the more political power becomes the coin of the realm rather than productive efforts. And this is what the welfare state is heading towards, a total war, a total civil war among citizens. And you see this happening already, as some people have pointed out, in Europe, between the makers and the takers. And you see this not only in the economic area, you see when I talk about total control. You see, for example, the government now using the IRS against enemies. You see the government going after the First Amendment. I was aghast that the administration suggested that the Federal Communications Commission go into newsrooms, not that they're leftist enough as it is, by the way, and to audit, to see how the reporters were putting together their stories. And the fact that every journalist in America didn't say, you show up at your door, we're going to throw your ass down the steps. We're going to kick your ass to the curb. That's what they should have been saying, and instead a lot of them were passive. It is a total grab for power. That's why they want guns. Why is it, by the way, that the Department of Homeland Security needs millions of rounds of ammunition? It's not like they're going overseas to fight Al-Qaeda, is it? Right? This is the nature of the system. This system produces a civil war between American citizens. What I'm arguing today is that we have to take the moral high ground. We have to stop apologizing for our own lives. What we should go to our legislators and remember, we hire these people it's like we hire security guards, right, to protect our life, liberty, and property, and then we find that they're pulling stick-ups in the hall. And then we find that they want to disarm us, and then we find that rather than being our security guards, they've created the prison, and they're the guards of the prison. That's what's happening in this country. We have to take the moral high ground. We have to say, our lives are our own. They don't belong to politicians to micromanage. We have to say that we are adults, not children. We don't want to be infantilized. We want to run our own lives. We have to basically take the moral high ground to take back our lives. What my book does is it suggests ways that we can take the moral high ground within the Republican Party, within the Tea Party movement, within the Second Amendment movement, within state legislatures, and at the national level. I hope you'll all check this out. I hope you'll all take the moral high ground and say, it's our lives. The government is here to protect us. The government is out of hand. The system will collapse if we don't win. I thank you very much, and I hope you'll take a look at the book.